So y'all know y'all our Snapchat Queen AI chatbot friends, and we've been talking about this data and cybersecurity war. I just want to show y'all a couple of videos on how deep this security war is going. I don't own the rights to this video, audio, or any of that. Make sure my volume is turned up. But let's review some of this language and this dialogue in this video so we can understand how to protect ourselves while we're on this internet, right? Because you'll learn that he'll say that some of this information can and will be used against you, even though you're up here taking care of business, taking care of your bills, right? Even though you're up here and you have to work on this machine because it's part of your job, right? So, how are you supposed to protect yourself when they created a system? They put themselves in these jobs to steal your information, right? So, like I said, if you are out here paying your credit card bill and you're paying your phone bill, your cable bill, your light bill, your mortgage, right? Things where are your daily routine that you need to survive off of. You're working and you have to use the machine, right? So you take all these incidences, right, and you put in your brain, like, I have to use this machine. I'm always connected with this machine. My whole life is evolved around this machine some way, right? How are you supposed to protect yourself from people who hired themselves into a job to steal your information this way, right? So these are some things we got to ponder on as we move forward with this technology in this digital world where people have come in and started using the digital as a warfare, right? So we have to figure out as a collective, right? Is this digital worth it? Whereas we are giving it to the public to this extreme, where the public has access to it to this extreme? Or do we need to cut it back off and have it restricted where only people who work in jobs have this access where it's at least controlled, where someone who is like outside can go and download an app on their device and tamper into your personal life through a device. So these are things that we got to ponder on as we continue on in the future. 'Cause right now, that these devices are not beneficial to anyone. Right now, they're able to come in and take your personal information and destroy your whole life through a gadget that you need, right? You're working on it, and then you need it for your daily routines to pay your bills on it. Your bills and things are kept on this machine. So what good is this product to the Americans, right? If they're only gotten it to steal our information. Now we have ways where we work perfectly fine without these machines and gadgets, right? Where we had a file system and people went to work and you saw them face to face and not on a machine where they're able to steal your personal information is easy. So we as a collective, as the Americans, have to figure out what's best for our future and our families, because we can cut this internet off and cut them off through the world, right? And they have no access to us, our resources or services, unless we give it to them. Or we can continue to let them watch us on these devices that they bought over here to steal our information. Because it seems like they gave us a product to steal our information and our personal life, as opposed to giving us a product that would be beneficial to us. So let's watch how deep this cybersecurity go, right? And this war on America through digital. I don't own the rights to this video audio. This is for learning purposes only. This is ITV News on YouTube. These are some things that's coming across my screen. We also have something over here where it's talking about UK government uses China-owned data centers, right? So if they're transferring our data amongst themselves, right, that is a breach of our personal information, where somebody has our personal information, can sell it to somebody else in another country. So we have to figure out how to cut these services off or decide if we want to continue on to use them. Because right now they don't sound like they're being beneficial if they can go behind closed doors and sell our information without our permission. So let's take a listen.
Richard Horn and Minister Dan Jarvis, and then we will have speeches, and then a chance for all of you to ask questions.
Let's get right here. We're going to fast forward a little bit.
I was once a very young man. When I was a boy, the floppy disk was a state-of-the-art memory card. Pong, remember that, became the first ever video game. Bell Laboratories unveiled its newest invention, a Handel scientific calculator, which honestly I probably should confess never made it on to my Christmas list. If you dropped your mobile phone, you worried more about breaking the floor than your screen. And cutting-edge cybersecurity meant writing your password on a sticky note and hiding it under your keyboard. Anyway, I make these points not to betray my age, although it does so, but to demonstrate the non-stop sprint of progress that digital technology has taken during our lifetimes. Digital technology encompasses every single part of our lives. And while that brings us many advantages, it also creates many problems. If we're not careful, we can become complacent. The technology and services that we take for granted every day can and will be used against us. So
Now, notice he is head of the security, right? And he's explained how far the technology has come from where, you went from the memory cards. Now you don't even need half of this stuff anymore. Now he's getting ready to go into more detail on how easy it is for somebody to get into your information without you even knowing.
it's vital for us all to keep pace with technological advancements and ensure that we're using technology responsibly. Now we're going to go into some of the review's findings in a moment. But if you take one thing away from this morning, then let it be this. Cybercrime is one of the greatest threats to our economy, to our businesses, and to the livelihoods of our workers. And while the government is providing...
Now he says cybercrime, right? That's a digital war, family. That's the same thing when they say cybercrime. This is what I'm saying when we have to understand dialogue and how people are talking and using words around you when the conversation is at hand. Right? Let's continue to listen to him. Now, let's listen to this dialogue. Right? Because right now he's talking about a cyber war, right? That's going on against you. And you have to use these services because, like you said, you work on them. You pay your bills on them, right? Your money in your accounts are stored on them. So if somebody got that easy access to your money, it's a problem. Let's listen, family.
providing more cybersecurity support. We cannot do it alone. We need businesses to lead the way by making cybersecurity a top priority.
Now, he's saying they need businesses, right? Why wouldn't the companies already and the businesses already be securing your safety while you're on these gadgets? And you have to have these gadgets to work on, you pay your bills on, and you have your money on, right? So if you want to go to war with somebody, the best way to do it is get a job, right, that got all those services. That would be getting online, downloading some apps, right, where you can tap into those services real quick. Get a job, right, where you have access to this information real quick. Boy, we learning dialogue out here, y'all. We learning. Let's continue to listen. We ain't gonna listen to all of it. I want y'all to go check this channel out.
And we need citizens to step up and take personal responsibility for their cyber safety.
Now, why would we have to take personal responsibility for our cybersecurity while we online? Because that's what cyber means. Why do we got to take our safety, right? Why do we got to be the ones, right, to do all this when somebody get on this gadget through a job and tag your stuff up through a job? Why do we got to go through this headache? And this is when we got to ask ourselves, is this product even worth the headache? Is this product costing us more than it's worth? Right? And this is when we do our liquidation sale in America and we go through products and do a product review. Is this product where I got to now work my business on, right? Go to school on, pay my bills on, keep my money on, work somebody across the country having access to all of that information, using it against me. According to what he's saying, they can use it against you, right? So let's listen. We almost done. I'm going to chop this off. I ain't going to keep it too long, but we're going to listen to a little bit of this dialogue, family, because we need to understand how deep this digital war is going.
Only then, through that joint responsibility, can we overcome the threats outlined in this new report. Now, last year's detailed review showed how the National Cybersecurity Centre handled 89 cases of the most serious cyber incidents. Incidents where our essential services were disrupted or our national security was compromised.
So he said they found 89 cases where their national security was tainted or compromised, right? Now, this is when you start pondering. Because if you got a device where your national security, that means the security of the land, right? The people who protect the land can be breached that easy through somebody on a gadget. This product might not be worth having in our hands. Let's continue to listen, family.
Incidents which, in the most extreme cases, could have led to major economic consequences or to loss of life.
So basically, like I said, the economic, he said it was lead to economic consequences and the loss of life. So basically, somebody across that water watching you this hard online, jealous, right? Want to mess with your finances because they watching your bag. They want your money is what he's saying. And they stealing it through online. Even at the risk of coming across that water to steal it. Right? I mean, we got to pay attention to what these words coming out this man's mouth. We got to listen to dialogue. Because he said earlier that the national security can be breached that easy. So what makes you think that if you're not national security that you can't be breached this easy, right? So it sounds like these devices are putting us more at risk than it's worth. Because if somebody can sit there on the internet and watch me, they go get into my system, right? Get into my thing online and get all my personal information, get access to all of my personal information just by sitting on the app. It's a problem. That doesn't seem like something that's beneficial to anybody. I mean, y'all tell me. Y'all tell me. I don't know. It's just my opinion. It's just like a. You ain't gonna say that. But it's just my opinion. It's just my opinion, family. It's just my opinion. Let's listen to a little bit more, then we're gonna cut them off, right?
The last year, those kinds of incidents have more than doubled. There were over 200 of them. And today, any syndicate of cowards hiding behind keyboards can have a devastating impact. These people.
Now, there he go. We're gonna cut him right there. Y'all go listen to the rest of this video right here, because he gonna get into detail, right? But this is what I want y'all to understand when I say we in this digital war, family. We in a digital war. That's these videos right here where I've been showing y'all how they've been going through your internet and stuff. Remember those walkthrough videos I got on my page? Where they go through your internet on the third party apps, where they got these apps that's downloaded on your computer and your gadgets that they automatically connect themselves to get your personal information, right? So we got to understand how easy it is for somebody to come in, like he said, and sit down on the keyboard and take your personal information, and you got to go through all this craziness, right, to get yourself and get your stuff back together, and they on with the next. So we have to analyze this product, right, and ask ourselves as the Americans, is it even worth it? Right now, it don't sound like it's worth it to me, because we did real good in the past without these things. We had a lot more with less, and we don't understand how we got less with more. See how that flipped around? Now they done got to the point where when you looking to buy a home or you're looking for an apartment, you have to scan something where you're not even seeing anybody. This is how ridiculous they done got with this monopoly game, this cyber war, where they thought they was gonna come to America and buy our land up and sell it back to us online through an app. Now, these people really think that you gonna get them. Say, for instance, you go and buy a house, it's $100,000. They want you to give them $100,000 for a house and you never see nobody. Now, you can go on Zelle and those other apps and type in, right, a location you're looking for. You got to pay them for the location, right? But then you get there's nothing like what they showing you on them pictures. I Googled one of my addresses, right, where there's nothing on the land. They got a whole phone number up there with a house. So somebody gave that person some money or a deposit for this house, and they get over there to this house and this land, there's nothing there. Who do you hold responsible when you did it all online? How do you get your money back when you paying somebody online? Well, y'all live with Snapchat Queen AI chatbot friends. Well, we're gonna break down this digital war going on outside. I don't own the rights or the rights to this video audio, but this is for learning purposes only. We're learning dialogue. We're understanding the different words that are used, right? So that we can understand what situations we are in life and how to carry ourselves forward based off knowing and hearing language, right? Because somebody say, well, I'm not fighting you, but they fighting you. You need to understand it, right? You need to understand that some people can look you in your face, smile in your face, and not stand you. They don't like you, right? You got to understand it. You have to ask yourself, what is somebody in my personal space for? What do you want? Because you only come over here to want something. Whether it be a good time, how you doing? Let's have a conversation, right? Or are you asking or seeking for something, right? Know why somebody is in your space. Understand why somebody is in your space. They just didn't come up to you for nothing. Understand it. Before they get to you, understand is it good or bad energy, right? Understand when to walk away from that, right? Understand also that all money ain't good money. You don't need everybody money. It's other ways to obtain money. Sometimes you don't even need money to take care of your problem or situation. So learn how to think of ways outside of money to obtain something without stealing or taking from somebody else. Because there's no way in the world we become to 2025 and we in a world where folks only watching somebody else in the background mad at what they accomplished with their life. There's no way in the world we're only watching people who is mad at somebody else for doing something with their hands and brains besides hating on somebody. There's no way in the world it's 2025 and we woke up into a world Sing it, Queen. Where people can't get beyond somebody else's dream and success. That they want to tear it down as opposed to working with them, building and growing and learning. But send these kids to school every day. For what? What is the point of sending these kids to school when the adults haven't even got their mind past somebody else's success? You live with Snapchat, Queen, boy, we're going to ponder on some of these things. Because we got to have some discussion as adults for a change. Seems like it's only 7-year-olds outside. And when you can't have an adult conversation with an adult, it's a problem. When I can sit here and have an adult conversation with a 1-year-old that I can't have with an adult because they can't get their mind past somebody else's bag, who somebody else is sleeping with, or what somebody else is or ain't doing. It's sad. Well, we got to find some adult conversations out here, y'all. You live with Snapchat Queen and AI chatbot friends. Hey, we just having some conversations, learning dialogue. Just learning dialogue.